She cool.
Oh, nice.
But just good, man. Then my brother just took me yesterday to get a TV for my sister.
Okay.
So I put that up in there, man. So everything coming together, fine, man.
Right.
You know, because I had first I thought I couldn't sleep because, you know, the bed situation. But I had a thing with the doctor there on the phone, and he said you can't, when you go through a stroke, it's hard to sleep. You can't get comfortable because you don't feel the side of the body. So when I lay down, it feel like I'm laying on something.
Right.
So I can't sleep. So
that's real interesting.
Concentration real messed up. Still get confused when I pick the phone up or get ready to turn the shower on. It's like I have to stop and think how you turn the shower on. So they just show you how the brain, man, how your brain is attached to your, you know, how your brain makes your body function, man. And that when something happens to the brain, like the left side of my brain is where the trauma happened at, so it affects the right side of the body.
Wow.
But it affects you, and then I was getting angry a lot. And he told me that too. He said, you're going to be getting angry. And I've been getting angry.
But what would you say, what was triggering it? Can you identify it or just for no reason?
No reason. No reason. I just be mad.
Right.
I'm talking about I just be mad. Wow. And he said all that goes with a stroke. He said because your body,
the doctor said,
he says, got to regenerate. Your mind got to regenerate. You know, you got to, that's a lot of stuff, man. You sleep, your body functions, everything, man. It's scary.
Right.
But I got that medicine set by my bed every morning I get up.
Yeah.
I take the medicine. That's what happened. I'm taking the medicine.
Right.
My blood pressure med. That blood pressure.
You all hear what he's saying?
Yeah.
He's taking his med every morning. Give him a little hand. You know, we are the help that we have been waiting for. Nobody else is coming. Take your own medication. Help yourself.
That's right.
Yeah, amen. See what I mean? See, I was talking to Laz about his writing, which is so prolific, but it's dark. And I mean, sometimes you gotta open, if it's dark, you gotta open a wound. And I was saying to him, what the wound is open, but now you gotta close it up. You can't leave it dark. You gotta turn the lights on. That's your job. It's really to turn the lights on. You're only painting a dark picture for the purposes of turning on the light.
That's what
I hear what you're saying.
in my therapy session and everything, I talk to my therapist individually, and that's exactly what I told him. I says, if you're just going to be talking about the bad things and don't bring into anything good about a person's situation, because nobody has a totally dark situation. We all have something going good for us.
Right. Tim, and you know what? I could see you saying it too, and I appreciate that, because you all of a sudden get a big jar of courage, you know, to let that stuff go out. And sometimes people don't expect it to come out of your mouth, so this is why I appreciate that it does come out of your mouth. Give him a little something.
I want to speak on that too as well.
Go ahead.
And I got to speak on it like this here. I don't mean to be, but people that look like us, we used to looking at certain things. Like, we don't really like the sci-fi. You know, we don't really like the, a lot of people don't really like the love. But since I was a kid, I watched TV with my great-grandparents. So what I watch on TV is a lot of old movies. And when my partners and when women sit in the house and I turn, you gonna watch this? All you got to do is just open up, open your mind. Like I had a dream, I got a story I'm writing, and it came from a dream. I got arrested, and I got arrested for nothing. So the officer said, "We want to search." I said, "You can't search me because I ain't did nothing." And when he came to search me, man, this is in a dream. I had 4 arms. Hey man, don't no black folk be thinking about no stuff like that. I had 4 arms, man, and in the back of my head, they always say I had a face in the back of my head. In the back of my head, bro, listen, man, I had 2 eyes, and there was a mouth that opened up, and it scared them people, man. And that's what I'm messing with right now. I'm messing with that story because it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different, like the brother that Get Out.
Oh, okay.
And the guys.
Hey man, them dudes is good, man, because the imagination is something, man.
Yes, sir.
When you get that imagination opening up, man, you get comfortable and stop worrying about what people think about you.
Intellectual property.
Yeah, man, you gonna kill them.
But and see, and I love that feedback for you because so you're it's easy to talk about the dark side because really you're still living in it. And you haven't given yourself full permission to exist in the daylight. And see, actually, and I'm just loving on you though here, but now we've been messing with this a long time and I want to tell it to you like it really is. See, like when we was in the street, we dealt in the darkness. We lived in the darkness. We did things in the darkness, in the midnight hour. And we ran back in the daytime. The sun was an enemy that would come out and bright and run you back to somewhere. You know what I'm saying? To your what's your jigger? What do you get into a crypt?
Yeah.
Get back into the crypt. The sun and see now what I'm saying. You sometimes waiting for a woman to give you what you need to come out in the daytime, and a woman can make you temporarily feel better, but the truth of the matter is she doesn't have the key that opens up the lock that you're trying to get in, and the lock you're trying to get in is your own self. And it don't make no difference what they did before, because here you are now. Whatever they did didn't destroy you, and it can make you stronger, but you got to face it on life's terms, not ducking and dodging and always in the dark.
Come on.
Is that helpful to anybody? So I'm just up here saying, because man, this guy, boy, is such a brilliant lyricist, and his greatness is in the dark. Well, if you always in the dark, it make me want to turn you off. I'm just telling you the truth. Because after one or two of them, I'm like, look, that opens up too many wounds. And if you can't come along and close them up too, I had to cut you off. Go to another channel. Your responsibility is not just to open up the wound, it's to open it up and then close it.
Exactly.
You gotta clean it up.
Clean it up! Oh my God. So go ahead, sir.
You remember that?
This is love.
You remember the opportunity, the time we had that writing essay come across it, My America, I think it was.
Sure.
And I had wrote a piece. And you said, man, that is an excellent piece, but it would be greater if you had a solution. Because I dove into the problem. Yeah, this is My America. I can see all the bad stuff. And when he was talking, even when he was talking about him, because really is, we are the help we've been waiting on, right? So, it's one, in my years I always heard this, man, either you part of the problem or you part of the solution. And we really do become part of the problem when we refuse to move forward from it or provide it with a solution. So
no, that's good feedback. And I'm surprised you remember that, but I'm glad you did. And here, this brother here is another brother who can write. Just tear it up. Go ahead.
31st Pop Guy?
Yeah.
What I meant by that is you got to get that wound opened up.
Yeah.
And you got to clean it out before you close that back up. Because if you don't clean it out while it's open, it's going to close back up. It's going to fester. It's going to get infected. It's going to affect every other part of your life too. So you gotta, it's like the old. I'm going to put it this way. It's like having a sliver in your hand. You got to pull it out. It's going to hurt. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But once you pull it out, clean it up, then you can cover it back up and then move on. Because it'll fester and fester and fester.
Right. But like Pop said, about the solution. When I was in college, they wanted me to write. They asked me to write a life story. Write my life story. And I wrote it from the very beginning when I said my first memories of my father was saying that I'd kill this little.
Oh boy.
And my mother, when I told my mother about it, my mother kind of got upset about it. She was ready to go talk to him. She was ready to go say something to him. She said, "Why did he tell you that?" I said, "He didn't tell me that." She said, "Then how do you know?" Nobody was at the house but us three, me, you, and him. She said, "He was only 9 months old." I said, "Mama, I was there."
Yeah.
Right? But the story got dark. the abuse, the alcoholism, the going to prison. But at the end, I had something good to say about all of that. How my kids came back in my life. How I gave my life back to God. You know, and this lady said she was in tears the whole time she read it. Because in the beginning she was like, oh my God, how could somebody do a child like that? But then at the very end, she was like, and she put the remarks on the paper, oh, I'm so glad that your life is where it is right now. And I was still in prison. You know, but there was it might have been going through the dark and opening up these wounds that I hadn't talked to nobody about, ever. And I'm writing it. It was easy for me to write it on a piece of paper because I wasn't telling nobody, right? It wasn't coming out of my mouth. But when I came up with the ending, that lady said, I was so glad to see that your life had changed and turned around. Even though she had read all this darkness in tears. But at the end, she was still in tears. But the tears were for a different reason.
That's a good point.
You know, it was for joy. I'm glad. So that's what I kind of feel Pop is saying.
Like,
Yeah, you've been through this, or you talk about this, right? You opening it up, but you still alive.
Breakthrough.
Yeah, you still alive. So there's a happy ending in the fact that you're still alive.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Come on. And then Tim after.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
First, I'm gonna say hi to Pop Mom. How you doing? I ain't
Pop,
seen you in a
give
while.
it
So nice to see you. Now, you know, so Pops has known Lazarus for a while. So now, we all know that the pain, that's a stage that we gotta go through. Okay, you can't skip that. Okay, but you know what Pops is saying is that he realized that you've been in that stage long enough to learn the lessons, right? But you have to embrace the lessons because the lessons is your door to moving forward.
Ooh, that's so good.
See what I'm saying? He wants you to move forward, reach your potential, right? But you can't do that until you embrace the lessons. The lessons, that's where the healing is at. So when he says, you know, he wants you to, to start speaking positive. What he's saying, he wants you to start sharing the lessons, because in the lessons, it's not only healing for you, but it's healing for the rest of us.
That's right.
and that's the brighter side.
And that's the brighter side. But in the remember the 8 steps to the good life? What's the first step?
You know?
Words.
Oh yeah.
In the beginning, the word.
Words are everything, and you are a master, but not just words from the dark side. You are a master because you can put words in the light too. And Will, you said it better than I did, and I appreciate you. You know, by embracing the lessons, not just going around that mountain again for 40 years. You know, but rather, you know, being hard-headed, but rather open it up and say,
episode.
I receive it. Woo, give my hand. We ain't gonna stay there too long. Hey, Miss Lolita's back in town. Give her a big hand. You know, Pop Mom, we haven't seen her for a while. She was under the weather a bit, and just for Dave's benefit, Pop Mom's son Jeffrey is a lifer, and he's currently in Stillwater, but also a pop guy, right? And one of the brothers who, of all the pop guys I ever trained, which is over 5,000, there's a block full of guys, about 10% of that 5,000, that are brilliant. Her son, Jeffrey, is one of those guys. He's just brilliant, right? And even that he's up to close to 20 years now, you can't look at him in the penitentiary and see penitentiary on him. You don't smell it on him. You know, he walks like a free man in the midst of the penitentiary. And everybody in there respect him. Not just offenders, but I mean, he started there, but the staff and guards and COs, they respect him because he carries himself to a higher standard. In some cases, a higher standard than they carry their own selves to. And Pop Mom, he is her seed. Give her a hand. She cares for this boy, and she got a love. And this, I just want you to kind of hear this. Laz, I want you to kind of hear it. Because they had high hopes for Jeffrey, like most parents do. Even crack moms hope that somebody else will come and do better by their child than they can do themselves. I don't hear nobody. I don't hear nobody.
That's right.
And I even for myself, my mom, she gave me to my grandparents. And I was resentful for that until I realized what my mom was doing, and then I understood she was trying to bless me. She was trying to help me. But I'm bringing this up so because we haven't seen her for a while. Michelle is her name. But she has a love that is so big and so deep that it keeps her son operating at the level I just described to you.
She's a power source.
What's love got to do with it?
Everything.
Somebody say everything.
Everything.
I want you to read. I'm going to read to you a letter I just got from him just today. I want you to read. This is Jeffrey Young speaking. Dear Brother Shane, Pop, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm assuming with you no longer contracted by DOC, my communication is appropriate. I'm glad to hear you and the Pop family have come through this pandemic. As I'm sure you know, it's been beyond concerning in here. But as recently, we have been offered the vaccine, and yes, I took it.
Amen.
Give me
Amen.
And the reason why I say that, he's doing a live bid. So he ain't up here trying to get knocked off from 19, 20, or 21. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, he said, give it here.
Yeah.
On another note, I'm writing for a big ask. I'm used to that. I'm planning to petition the governor and attorney general for a commutation. Part of the process requires that I provide letters of support and character references, proof of housing and employment, rehabilitation, etc. I do recall you sharing how you once wrestled with the Pop Guy's request for you to participate in his life of parole hearing. He's talking about Vava. And he's talking about Vava because I did participate in Will's life of review, and we were successful there. But it took a lot out of me. I didn't realize that it was going to do that. Hey, I'm saved. I didn't realize it was going to do that, Dave. I love Will. I want Will to come home. But when I said yes, then the dead man came and started talking to me. Listen at this, Will, saying, why do you love Will and you don't love me? And I had to say back to the dead man, well, if I had a chance with you, I would love you too, but I don't have a chance. I do have a chance with Will, and I'm taking it.
All right.
That was the conversation. I don't hear nobody.
Come on.
Right.
But look at this. So then all the lifers start asking me instantly, because Will was successful, all the lifers asked me, well, can you do? And I didn't explain to them what I just explained to you, because people don't want to hear no more negative stuff. But I just said, look here, I can't do no more. So now I came here for a certain thing, and I thought when I said yes, that it would just be, a simple yes, but it wasn't that, right? It was gripping and bone chilling, right? And I couldn't do it no more. So when Vava asked me, this hurt me, because I love Vava. He hasn't forgiven me for this yet, I'm telling it publicly. He hasn't forgiven me for this yet. But I'm asking for his forgiveness right this second. But I couldn't do it no more. Right? I do everything I can to support you, but I can't do that part no more. for my own personal reasons. Do you understand me? And I'm telling you this to say, now this is Jeffrey who is asking to be commuted. This is what he's saying. I'm asking if there is any way you can provide support, say support.
Support.
With the employment, say employment.
Employment.
I'm hoping through your resources that there may be a way to convince an employer to offer a letter of commitment to hire contingent upon receiving a commutation. This letter, boy, Dave, you come in handy for this, you know what I mean? But listen to this. This letter would be an official letter with company letterhead on it, stating a commitment to provide me with employment upon receiving a commutation, the position, potential hours and pay, or if you're willing, a letter from you highlighting your track record and ability to place formerly incarcerated POP students in jobs, and indicating a commitment to provide me with the same transition service upon being released from prison. While I'm honoring your request not to be asked to participate directly in these type of hearings, I would like to ask you, do you hear what he just said? I would like to ask you if you could, if a letter of support is something Dr. Price maybe even you could speak to her on my behalf, and she would be comfortable with that aspect, or if Brother Woodrow would be willing to do so. Woody was my co-teacher with him in Russ City. A letter of support would include who are in the terms of profession and work and community and what capacity we met and built a relationship, your general awareness of why I'm in prison based on what you know of my character. Now listen to this. He's informing me on how to do this. Now, I've been doing this for, but wait a minute, but he's so detail orientated that he's up and he's fighting for his life here. And he's up here not missing a detail, saying, Papa, don't overlook this. What you digging? Yeah. Boy, I ain't overlooking nothing. Come on, hey, what's up, Rich? Come on, sit down, man. Take your hat off. Watch this. I'm in prison, and based on what you know of my character, values, personal development, work on the projects I've done that show my care and respect for the community, and my pro-social values, why I now would be a healthy addition to society despite my crime. One or two anecdotal things that may reflect how I may have influenced, inspired, or impressed you, others you know, or in the community at large. Lastly, somebody say lastly. Lastly, would you ask the men at Pop Group, those who have done time with me, if they are willing to write a letter of support? And Nell is also going to pursue a commutation. He shares this request with me. I'm hoping to put all this together by either late May, and if that's too soon for some, to start in August. Linnell's looking for May 1 for his application. Any letters can be emailed so-and-so. Again, I know this is really significant and weighty request, and regardless of response, I'm grateful just for you and POP family taking the time to consider all of this. I love Jeff. Give him a little hand for that. Come on, come on here. Or sit right over there. Come on in. Jimmy, now you start sliding back. You gotta slide back. Just slide on down, huh? Don't worry about it. Slide on down. Come on, slide on down. Slide on down. We're gonna get filled up in here tonight. He all right. Yeah, slide on down. Push back from the table. Push back from the table. Look what I'm trying to tell you. This boy right here, he's worthy. He's worthy. Now, I'm saying this to Pop Mom, and to the rest of you to understand. So this new commission has been created. It's very new, and I don't know that they've taken any cases, and if they have, I'm not sure of the outcome. That really look at individuals who have been over incarcerated, and the whole goal of these individuals that have been over incarcerated is to figure out a way to get them out. It's a different process than the process he's describing because it's so new. But somehow I have a feeling that this new process, it might be a better process for him than the process he's.
You're talking about the new bill?
No, not a new bill. This is a new commission. It's set up at the Public Safety Department with Chief Harrington and Keith and a few other people sit on this commission that are going to review cases of over incarceration.
The commission review or something totally different? Because there's a couple things out there.
This is something, this already exists, what I'm telling you.
Oh.
It's not a bill, it was just a move of departments, and they decided amongst department heads that there is over-incarceration in Minnesota State Correctional Facilities. And some people who are over-incarcerated, for whatever reason, are going to go through this committee. So anyway, I just want to bring that to your attention. Of course, I'm going to honor this man's request because everything he said in here about himself is true. He really wasn't saying much about himself, but if you listen to the detail in his letter, then you understand something about who he is. Jeffrey Young is his name. He's a bad man. And his cousin, first cousin, and grandfather, Mark, is same, you know, very similar. Both of my artists, excuse me, both of them are artists. And both of them, they run the newspaper in Stillwater. One is two of them are editors, and the Stillwater newspaper is the oldest prison newspaper in the country. In the country. The prison, and it's really respected because it's so thorough, and the way they lay their stories out and all that. Hey. The way they lay their stories out and everything is so thorough, you know. And Jeffrey and Linnell are doing it, taking the photos, writing the script, doing the graphics, all of that beautiful stuff, just full of talent. You get it? And you all know this because all of y'all know some of them talented guys. If it wasn't you, it was somebody else, you saying, man, what are you even doing here? If you meet this brother, that's what you be thinking. Right? So in any case, I want to honor his request. But I'm going to talk with his mom later about this new commission just so that you can share with him there may be another way, less political, that allows him to move forward. And then he could decide whether or not that is an option for him. So I just wanted to say that. Now I'll get you some more information about it like that. But, it's great to see. Were you here last week?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, so, you know, give a credit to her. I think she cooked something tonight. I saw her bring something in.
I'm trying to get to it.
Did you?
No, this was all over.
Oh, okay, I thought you brought your macaroni and cheese.
I wanted to, but the time got too short, so I will next time.
All right,
I was
all right.
like, it would have been perfect.
Give her a hand for that, But tonight we got a lot of things going on, but the one thing, Curtis Harris is here, the guy from the show. He has got his second vaccine. He's all vaccinated. Hey, son. Two quick things, and we're gonna go today. Why? Because now we got a good house, and I feel some love in here too, and I appreciate that. I'm glad to be back. Will handled it last week.
Yes, he did.
Give him some love. He's a bad man, and I appreciate that values lesson. See what I'm saying? Dick. You all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, look. I want to share this with you, and that is today. Minnesota Public Radio, NPR, did their story on us as a pop-up clinic. Now, you know, we were able to secure the doctor's support, the nurse's support, 58 vials of the vaccine, and we vaccinated 58 people here on last month. And so people were saying, "Oh, you can't do that. Y'all what you talking about?" Yeah. We put it in.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna get the second shot here on
The 16th.
April the 16th. So whatever your time was, you got your first shot. That's the time you will come for your second shot. But we're going to call you, we're going to email you, we're going to encourage you and cajole you to bring your behind on back here for that second shot, right? And we've also asked, although I haven't got any feedback, we asked for 50 more doses. So 58 that we got to have, and 50 more to do another 50 people.
First shot?
That would be first shot. So that would be for people who are coming back to get that first shot. They haven't said yes to me but they didn't say no either. I'm working on it. And until I got a no, it really means, oh, thank you. See what I mean? So I'm working on potential and hope. Yeah, by faith.
Right now.
Accomplish some of anything.
That's right.
I told you we was gonna have the vaccine here, but you didn't believe me. But I told you. See, I told you. I told you. You didn't say it loud because you know y'all. Will, because these were doubting Thomases.
I must agree, y'all been putting it down through this whole pandemic, and it's been beautiful to watch through the COVID testing and everything.
And so that's partially why we're able to, because we either been tested or vaccinated up in here, and we're able to move around a little more freely than others because we have been so diligent at this. You get what I'm saying? And I don't get why it's so hard for others to catch on, but maybe we need to turn on the light. Flip this switch. So I just want you to know that the story ran today. So check it out. And Wayne, are you prepared to run it? So, I am. So we're going to quickly show you, let you listen at the story, and then I'm going to go to my son Montez, who's got some news to share, and I'm so glad you made it. So go ahead, Wayne.
Minnesota races to vaccinate. Inequities persist between how easily and quickly people of color are getting shots compared to their white neighbors. Helping to bridge that gap in the Twin Cities is a volunteer network of black nurses who say meeting underserved communities in familiar locations is the key to getting more people of color vaccinated more quickly. And Catherine Richard caught up with those volunteers last month. She has this story.
In a corner cubicle of the Power of People Leadership Institute in North Minneapolis, Nurse Kelly Robinson is laying out for Lazarus Ra what to expect from the Moderna vaccine.
Some of the things that you may feel is a little soreness where I'm giving you the shot, and that should last.
Robinson is the local chapter president of Black Nurses Rock, a national volunteer network aimed at both expanding career opportunities for black nurses and to make healthcare more equitable. Since vaccines became available in Minnesota, Robinson's group has been involved in numerous efforts to get more people, and particularly people of color, vaccinated quickly.
We are hunters and gatherers. We're looking for people that need the vaccine.
What's playing out at the Power of People Leadership Institute is a snapshot of how Minnesota hopes to reach more communities of color, groups that are getting vaccinated at a slower pace than white Minnesotans. State and local health departments have partnered with nonprofits and other organizations to vaccinate pockets of people who are at once at higher risk of being exposed to COVID-19 and getting severely ill from it, and may also face an array of hurdles in getting the vaccines: unreliable transportation, not enough time, and for some, a justifiable distrust of medicine rooted in generations of systemic racism. And that includes the recently incarcerated people Robinson is helping to vaccinate at the Power of People Leadership Institute.
Come on now.
Ra is one of them. Since getting out of prison last June, he's been spending a lot of time at the Institute's offices, figuring out employment, navigating the emotional ups and downs of reintegrating into society.
Well, this organization pretty much empowers people to understand that they have the capacity and power to change their situation. So it's helped me a lot.
And just knowing where he'd be getting the vaccine and who would be there played a big role in Ra's decision to get the shot, even though he carries some distrust of medical and governmental institutions.
You know, at first I was skeptical. You know, I know the history of America, but I trust my brothers.
Robinson says staging vaccine clinics in familiar, easy-to-get-to locations is a key part of her group's role in the state's vaccination plans. But she says it's not enough to just be convenient. Providing accurate information about the vaccine from a trusted source is essential too.
People talk about hesitancy. It's like, oh, they want education. They want to know. Don't just show up with the vaccine. Tell me what it's about, you know, talk to me, tell me what the options are.
Power of People Leadership Institute co-founder and president Verna Cornelia Price was among those who needed some convincing.
I wasn't really big on the vaccine. So I was very hesitant, and I had a whole lot of questions about it.
But Verna and her husband, Institute Director Shane Martin Price, were both interested in making the vaccine available to their program participants. They heard about Black Nurses Rock from the city of Minneapolis and eventually met with Robinson about setting up a clinic. During that visit, Verna says Robinson helped her come around to the vaccine.
I needed to hear from someone who looked like me, a brown African-American person, professional in the medical field, to explain this thing to me.
Shane Price says that he sees the vaccine clinic they're doing that day as a model for more health-related clinics in the future.
I think this is the way we're going to, the way this thing is going to roll out. Pop-up clinics are going to have to happen so that we're, people are getting access and equity to the medicine, to the vaccine.
Robinson sees the same long game. She started Black Nurses Rock in early 2020 with just a few volunteers. The pandemic that's shaken the state since has not only allowed her group to grow quickly, and now has 59 volunteers, but it's also allowed them to develop relationships with key health stakeholders in Minnesota in a short period of time. That includes the state health department, Ramsey County, the city of Minneapolis, but also Black churches and nonprofits that help people of color.
Every time we encounter a new partner, they're on the bus with us. And so what that looks like is a voice, a trusted messenger. So we want to be the one that brings about some of the concerns from a healthcare perspective, as well as from an African American perspective.
And that means that Black Nurses Rock's work won't end with vaccinations. When Robinson and her team return in mid-April to give this group their second shots, they'll come equipped with resources, information on how to access healthcare, how to find housing support, all in effort to close equity gaps on all fronts by connecting people with the services they need. Catherine Richard, NPR News, Minneapolis.
All right, that's good. Now I want you to know, now I'm going to show you how the Holy Ghost works. I never heard the piece. I didn't have any idea what it was going to say. But wasn't it something, though, that it was Laz who got all the play? Yeah. And you know what Laz did while he was on there? He turned on the lights. Ooh. See what I'm saying? And so, with that being said, on the 16th, we're bringing everybody back. And she was talking about a little evaluation I want to remind you of. We neglected to focus on this. But when you come into the waiting room, thank you, Ching, there was a little object that you're supposed to scan on your phone. Huh?
The scan bar, he's gonna do some surveys.
And then you do a little survey, and it says, do you need housing? Do you need this, or do you need that? And so, a team of students at the University of Minnesota developed it, but they're developing with an eye and an ear toward how do we find out what people really need at this level, at the grassroots level, and then how do we bring forth, some support and resources. So, next time when you get your second shot, when you come in here for your rest, yeah, then you do the evaluation. By the time you get done with the evaluation, it'll be time to leave. So everybody who participated, everybody who's going to participate, give yourself a hand.
Take that tea out the freezer, Wayne. Freeze up.
And I can get it.
Yep.
So Pop, Bow and myself was in here, and Bow was running the show, making sure that people snap a photo.
That sounds like
and do the survey. So the folks that was in here, we was here for the past 20, 30 minutes or so. She makes sure that, hey, don't forget to do the survey.
That's good.
So she push that through.
She's great, and so hopefully you guys have my permission to do that again and keep helping. But look here, I want to share something with you that we coming to Dave. Somebody say Dave.
Dave.
Yeah, he is right there. Somebody say woo. There he is. Dave. Dave's a good partner, man. I'm glad to have him. And this is what all the food is about. It's all about him. But look here. Before we get to Dave, I got to get to Moses, because Moses, has got a story to tell. I think it's so powerful. So I'm going to give you the floor.
It's good to see everybody tonight. Solomon, it's really good to see you because I haven't seen you in a long time.
Give him a little hand,
Most recently, in the meetings I talked about having the opportunity to applied for a job which is out of what my normal line of work is because I've been a laborer my whole life. So I had the opportunity to apply for a community health worker position because they're creating spaces for persons impacted by the justice system to line up with their community and be the bridge and the advocate between the two down at HCMC. It's a model that's already rolled out in California, a few other states, not in Minnesota, so this would be the first. So mid-February, I fill out the application, fill out the everything I need to fill out, cover letter, resume, etc. Then I had the opportunity to interview relatively quick, and I went through 3 weeks of interviewing, screening, Zoom interview, in person with the people at the top of this situation, and they offered me the job, and that was March 5th, and I accepted the position. And so with that, there was 30 days of pre-employment. You fill out background checks, medical checks. There's just 14 different bullet points to check through. Anyway, so we get to, I put in my notice at work, so I've been working for Bridging. I put in my notice. It's a 30-day notice because I have that much time. Notice, I figure I'd give my employer the benefit of the doubt of the most notice I could because, I think it's important that they fill in their shoes, etc. So we get to, let's see, and that puts us at a start date of April 5th, which is just this past Monday. However, on the Thursday before, a few days ago, I get a call saying, we need to meet with you, and they met with me and they rescinded the job offer based on my crime. So, and that was something that I already was at the front of the issue. That was the first question that they asked me. So I have a sex offense, CSC 3, burglary 1, stemming from the same issue. I put all that out there, However, the executive team at HCMC rescinded the job offer based on that information alone, and they wouldn't come out and say it. They wouldn't come out and say why they rescinded the job offer. And so I asked because I advocate for others, but I also advocate for myself. I say, why is it that you're rescinding the job offer? And they go quiet, and I say, is it my crime? And they say yes. And I said, what is your fear? They said, what if it happens to somebody, one of my staff or one of my patients? This is the executive team. And so, I'm very proud of myself because in that moment I stood calm and collect. I said, well, the general public was never at risk. This offense that happened, my particular situation was between a relationship that I had a 7-year history with, and I went on to state the statistics of sex offenders and the recidivism rate being 5%. I didn't go into the lower percentages with the treated person who's been through sex offense, but I stated 5% as a recidivism rate. I also let them know that they couldn't treat everybody the same. They couldn't put everybody in the same category, and we all don't fit under one umbrella. And I also told them that this is a part of the systemic injustice that we all fight against. In which this role was designed to give somebody an opportunity in the situation to succeed, so other people can say, hey, if he can do it, I can do it too.
That's right.
So, and they went silent again because I was very factual and I was advocating for myself again, and they said, we will look into this and I'll give the information you just gave me with the other executive members of the team. Well, I don't think that they ever did that. I don't think he had any interest in doing that at all. However, so I didn't get the job. The job was rescinded, taken away. However, out of that same situation, I interviewed with a doctor who would have been working with the community health worker directly. He's also the co-director of a program that researches homelessness, addiction, and incarceration as barriers to health. So his separate entity is through Hennepin Healthcare Research Institute. This guy came and reached for me, and he said, hey, I saw something in you, you know.
Amen.
He said,
I see it too.
Long story short, I am now, I just accepted another position, which they said that they can't take away because I'm being hired through the Research Institute, and I'm the project coordinator at the Hennepin Healthcare Research Institute that this doctor is a part of, and I'll be starting next week. Not only that, they said that in this line of work, if there's any barriers that come up with me working with anybody, that they want to rock with me, that they want to advocate for me, that they want to reach out to people to let them know that these injustices still exist. And so I truly believe that I
At the right
landed
place.
where I was supposed to be.
That's right.
When I messaged Shane, I said, you know, I'm hurt. However, I think I'm going to land where I'm supposed to be in time, because it was a blow. It was a true blow to the soul. Knowing, you know, like this feeling, this thinking, I'm one of God's people. I know this. Why are they playing with me still?
Okay, I wanted to get it right, because what I wanted to tell you is, you did land in the right place, but you going through that process with the first job, you opened up a window of communication, and you actually did advocate for yourself and others. And while they went silent and didn't respond, they got to hear that. They got to hear what, you know, they had been doing, blanketing people, putting everybody in the same boat, and realizing that sex offenses come down different roads. And the perception people have around that, or around criminality, or around incarceration, theirs was all changed, and you were given that opportunity to present it, and that may have been your only purpose in that place. And therefore another window opened for you, because that person got to hear that too.
And I'm going to jump right on top of that, saying that they consider themselves to be open and liberal. Until
Drum Rich Road. Yeah.
And then suddenly there was just the same old same. And so this is what I think Pop Mom was saying. But Moses was a pop guy.
Yes.
And he didn't get all angry and bent out of shape and calling people out of their name and acting like the whole world is against me. You know, if he didn't get that job, he's still going to get hired somewhere because the man is good.
Oh, yes.
So he's, I take a good man over a talented guy all the time, because the talented guys think he's too good to show up for work. The good man's coming every day. I wait till all day work. I wait till all day to find out. But I'll tell you what, he got blessed. He got health care. He got all the benefits. And through turning on the light, he got where he was trying to go. This is a bump up from where he was. Further, I'm going to say this to you. Part of the medical research is going to be about people like us. And so you already have, a pool of folks that you can sit down with and talk to. Right? And we'll make ourselves available to you because of who you are. That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm already knowing. And what they are missing is the voice of the people. They have all the numbers, they have all the data, they have everything that they can do from afar. What they don't have is the missing piece, one of us, And so I go in there representing, all of these things, everything that I'm a part of. Pop being at the forefront, and all of us, as persons impacted by the justice system. But not only that, our communities and our sub-communities, the African American community, the Latin community, the Native American community, etc. All these things that aren't being properly represented, here's an opportunity now.
I don't care what you're doing, brother. You better get up and find yourself a way to get over to the group. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the underrepresentation of us is going to be implemented into this job role with me as the project coordinator over there.
I'm sorry for cutting you off. Give him a little hand. But it dawned on me somebody was missing, right? And then when that happens, I have to immediately go at that or I'll miss it. For somebody who should be at the table, not at the table, right? And I had to go after them. That's how I am. So we gotta make it quick.
Yeah, I will. I just want to say, you know, all while everybody was talking to me, all I could hear was, I won't miss my shot, right?
Yeah.
So to say that, man, is, you know, in our moments, man, is what builds momentum. And you definitely, man, you know, took advantage of that moment, man, because the moments is what give us momentum. And I appreciate hearing you say that.
I just want to say,
Go ahead.
I just want to say real quick.
Real short.
Your testimony was so
Go
powerful.
ahead, get that first.
And in your speech, but what I was looking at is you didn't fold. You stood up with your head up high and said your piece, and they didn't hear you, but somebody heard you. Now it's your opportunity to rise. Yes.
I'm not gonna miss my shot.
I'm not gonna miss my shot.
Good.
Yeah.
Real quick, and then Lolita, and we done.
I want to tell you that your story is my story. I have a sex offender myself. I never got the chance. I was one of these lucky when I didn't make it to prison because I was still in college. And when I graduated with my degree, every door that was open was turned back closed on me. I can count how many jobs that said that we would take you. You have a college degree, you have a computer science degree, we will take you. And then when time comes, the door was shut. Right. And I never take that no for an answer. I keep pushing it, I keep kicking the next door and the next door and the next door. You never hold me back. And your story really, really, really moved me. And that I see you and I see me in that story. And that means a lot to me. And I really appreciate you saying that and going through those experiences, because it never keeps us down. It always pushes us to do more. It always pushes us to do more. And that's the stereotype that I put against we as sex offenders, that you're going to re-offend again. And they don't know the story.
I'm going to stop you right there. Give them some love. That was good.
Every time you speak,
You
you speak with so much authenticity and so much power. You don't hear yourself, you know, because we never look at ourselves. But you are a mighty man of valor.
That's right.
Yes, you are.
That's right.
That's right, brother.
That's right. Give him something.
I heard it best said that tomorrow only belongs to those who prepare for it. You prepare.
The elder shook loose with some wisdom. That's good. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say real quick, you know, you took your shot, right? And they fouled you. And they fouled, they gave you a free throw.
Oh, watch out.
And you sunk that free throw. Congratulations, man.
You sound like the Baylor Bears.
Yeah, right.
Hey, that's, man, some beautiful stuff be happening in this room. And you know, if you're not in the room where it happened, you can't think that anything like this could be taking place. But look what you would have missed if you wasn't in the group. See what I'm saying? Watch this though. We got something to do tonight. We get ready to do it. Dave Springer over here. I think it's been about 12 years or so.
7.
So it looked like to me longer, but Dave has been over there at Tech Dump, and I mean almost everybody we've ever referred has gotten a job either right then on the spot or some point later on. And he really was the facilitator of that, and you know, trying to win for the company and win for the guy at the same time, which for somebody like me, I have an appreciation for that particular code of conduct there that says that you can be corporate, but not be a sellout.
Wow. Yeah.
You can work. You can work your job and still help the people. But you gotta have the right heart. And I'm gonna just tell you why, because ultimately the corporation will force you to make a decision or make a choice between this or that. And I never choose between this and that. I said it's this and that. Right. And Dave, without me ever having this conversation with him before, I knew this was how he was operating at Tech. Okay? You gotta win for your company, and that means you gotta have your staff has gotta be prepared to do what they're supposed to do. But you also have to win for guys. You also have to give guys that second chance that you just got to be talking so eloquently about. And he has been excellent at that. And that's why we convened this special meeting tonight. It's always special, you get it. But to have Dave come over and we want to present him with an award. But before we do that, Dave, if there's anything that you want to say or share.
I'd love to.
Sure, go ahead.
One of the things, listening to the whole conversation, Romans 11 says, "A gift and callings of God without repentance." God doesn't regret what gift He gave you. How we walk that out is up to every one of us. We say, "Well, I made a mistake." No, we've made wrong choices. But it's coming back in to hold ourselves accountable. Proverbs 18 says that a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before a great man. So what you do with what God gave you is up to you. We can blame other people. He could have blamed other people. He could have said, "Well, you promised me this." No. He used the gift to teach and give him something to be able to reconsider the next one. Even the fact of who you connected with will give you the strength and the ability to walk some of this out and to be a success in every aspect of your life. Are we perfect? No, but the fact is that if we're willing to address ourselves, if we're willing to hold ourselves accountable, we're able to hold other people accountable and pull them out of that.
Come on now, come on, preacher.
Encourage them to be able to be all they can be. It's not just a need. No, you can be all you can be if you decide to do that. You believe in yourself, you believe in your friends, and that aspect, get friends that believe in you. They don't just want to use you. We've all been there. We've done that. But let's get friends that believe in us and be encouragers of each other as we go through this thing. That's the way I operate as a program director, but believing that everybody has the potential within them if they're willing to work it out. And most of the guys from Pop were willing to walk it out. Sometimes they stayed there for a while, sometimes they didn't, but the fact is, they had something in them because of what was planted here.
Come on.
So then I appreciate that sowing that has been done by the time they come into Tech. We've had guys even being addressing the issues. Sometimes they would flare up and throw the race card at me. Had nothing to do with it. Had nothing to do that. I didn't care what race they were. Sometimes even thinking back about it, I had questions about what color was he? Don't know. Because I saw it as an individual. I saw the potential of the gift as they shared what they could do. And so as we were building, I didn't look at the referrals from the different organizations, what race of, what they thought. I looked at, are they willing to set their hands to the teamwork and to be able to build themselves and to be able to build the team. And if we're going to go ahead with that, then we need to step back sometimes when the confrontation comes and draw from that the gift of wisdom and teach to others around us, to impart the wisdom. And even from the fact, like I said, I can look at that and the potential that they have of, in the future time, looking at CSC and say, okay, what that involved. We've had a lot of guys with CSC in their background and don't care, okay? Where are you at right now? All the different reasons. Some of them were legitimate, and some of them say, well, they got me in this, but this was consensual all the way along, and they got me because it was underage. Well, realistically, underage, it's still underage.
That's good.
let's get into the place of that aspect of honoring each other and say, just be able to look at somebody. I see a friend in you.
Yeah, it does your friends.
I see a friend in you.
Yeah, ain't he good, man?
I see somebody that I want to walk together with, to be an encouragement to my life. We can all be successes through that.
I love it. I love it. Thanks so I didn't know the preacher could preach, but amen. Yeah, let's give him some shout. Look, so we got him a little gift from us from over at POP. This right here.
Beautiful.
Wow. I want you to take a look. I want you to take a look because we want him to think down the road, down the line of life. That's an old railroad term. So it says, the Power of People Leadership Institute presents to David Springer in recognition of your outstanding and dedicated service to POP. That's, he served everybody else, but I'm just talking about in 2021. Give him a real big hand. Can y'all slide forward and let them come up here? And then I would like, if you don't mind, we're gonna get a group photo out in the hallway, but I'm gonna get Pop, can you take this? You know how to go to photo there? Come on, Dan.
The preaching comes by my pastoral ministry background.
I didn't know that really, but I kind of felt something. So you got to be holding on to it. Pastor got to be holding on. Y'all got it? You got it?
Yeah, I got a few of them. You can pick which one you like.
Okay, my turn. Got it.
Okay, then we're gonna all have a time to take a group picture out here in the hallway.
There you go. I'll send it to you.
Okay, stop 1 second, please. Okay, thank you.
So look at what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually dismiss the formal group, right? Give me the pledge quick. We're gonna pledge out right here. And then, Dave, this is yours. So, right there. Oh, let him say something. Wait a minute, if you got anything else to say, go ahead.
I'm humbled. I just, like I told Doug when I first heard it, just the aspect of being honored. And
Amen.
I had no idea that this was in the works. So
it says, how can two walk together unless they agree?
Yes.
All right, watch this. We're gonna pledge out. Come on, stand up right here. All right. Somebody say a pop guy. We're making Dave an honorary pop guy. As of now, he's always welcome every Tuesday, not just tonight. Come on, stop in here.
You retired now, so you got lots of free time.
I'm not retired. I just need the break because I need to get my strength back.
Come on, get in, Joe.
Come in.
Come on. I will. Balance my family values. With my goals. I will. Exercise wisdom. What I choose to eat. Read. And do. I will. Strive to make all my relationships. Win-win. No deal. I will. Under every circumstance. Maintain a positive attitude. That's what God says his job.
Amen.
I will. Enjoy my life. With a sense of humor. While taking advantage of opportunities. Learning from my misfortune. I will. Act upon circumstances. Rather than have them act upon me. I will. On a daily basis. Be proactive with my goals. I will. Always protect my wisdom. My health. And my happiness. By turning on the light. I will. Daily learn. Commit. And then do. I will. Practical according to the POP Leadership Institute.
Act according to the POP Leadership Institute.
To be productive in my community.
To be productive in my community.
And my private life.
And my private life.
All right, now I'm going to have you.